What factors influence the decision to treat? Again, this just goes back to quality of life, you know, and wanting to make sure that people have a really good quality of life as well as a good treatment option. So, you know, they'll look at medications first probably for people, and then if medications aren't working, then they'll go on to some other alternative treatments. And like I said, medication helps. I think that there's a slide in here. Let me look ahead. Yes. Here are the factors of, or the information about medication is that for 50% of the people who are taking medication, seizures are eliminated. For 30% of those, they're markedly reduced. So that would be about 80% of the population is well treated with medication. There's the other 20 to 30% that are not well treated with medication and don't respond well to medication. So those are the, you know, kind of the population where you may have to look at some other treatment sources. And let me go back to this. So some of those other ones are surgery, the ketogenic diet, the VNS, the vagus nerve stimulation, or other lifestyle modifications. And these are just some of the side effects that might occur if someone's taking medications. And I know the doctors know more about what, you know, what meds you get, what side effects from, and what to be concerned about. So just be sure to be talking to your doctor if you're having any of these more severe, well, any side effect, but also the more severe ones for sure, like the rashes and swollen glands and things like that need to be addressed with your doctor immediately. But things like drowsiness and irritability and change in behaviors and things like that, I would definitely talk to your doctor about to see if they can get a better med that would, you know, work for you better. So surgery, again, is one of the options for those people who are not really good at, or the medication is not really working well for. So that just involves basically a huge workup beforehand to make sure what side effects will happen if they remove that part of the brain. It's not something they do lightly. It's something that they really take very seriously and do a lot of tests on before somebody would actually be considered to be a good surgery candidate. So they take it very seriously. The vagus nerve stimulation is another form of treatment, and some people who are taking medication also have the VNS, or some people who get the VNS can go off of their medication. So you never know how this is going to affect somebody until it's actually implanted, and it's put into their chest cavity, kind of like a pacemaker would be, and it has a stream, a line that goes up to the base of the brain and to the vagal nerve, basically, and it sends impulses to the vagal nerve. And they're not really sure why this works, but it does work for some people who have epilepsy. It also has been shown to work for people who have depression. So epilepsy and depression are oftentimes linked together, and so some people will say, it didn't really help my seizures, but I really feel a lot better. So there can be some of those other, you know, side effects that are positive too. So, but it does help with some seizures too. And then the ketogenic diet, you may hear this from time to time, and it's just basically a very specific diet that mostly kids are put on because it's easier to track their diet. Right by the time you get into adolescence, you know, they have access to all sorts of food without their parents there, and they may not be as strict about the diet, and it may not work as effectively. But it's very high in fat and low in carbohydrates, and it's actually monitored. The Children's Hospital has a ketogenic diet clinic, so it's monitored through children's oftentimes, and there can be some, you know, things that they need to really watch for, like how the kidneys are being affected by the diet and all of that. They do not starve the kids, so even though it's based on this finding of starvation years and years ago, the people who are on it is just very, very specific. So you'd want medical, like a medical personnel to be overlooking the diet if you're going to go on it. So these are just some quotes from people about the effect of epilepsy on their family or on themselves. And, you know, it's just really keeping a positive outlook on epilepsy and that it doesn't have to rule your life or define who you are. But it's more something that you're, you know, you have, something that you have to pay attention to probably if you have it, but it's not something that needs to define you as a person. Women, we don't really need to go through this any more than what I've already said, but just if you're a woman with epilepsy, maybe contact the Epilepsy Foundation. We have some materials here on how it's different for women. And then also talk to your doctor and just try to figure out, you know, if your hormones are affecting your epilepsy. And we already talked about how epilepsy is commonly diagnosed for the elderly population, and just, you know, be aware of that if you know somebody who is elderly, and it can sometimes go misdiagnosed or even unrecognized. So just really keep that in your mind, that maybe it's a seizure happening and maybe it really isn't something else that the person has been diagnosed with. Here's another nice quote. So I would just suggest, like I said at the beginning, you may or may not have heard, but I would suggest to go on YouTube and search for the Take Charge of the Facts video, maybe an epilepsy under the search bar too, so that video will pop up. Teenagers who are talking about epilepsy, there are epilepsy or seizures, I guess, seizures shown on the video that you can watch, so you can see the absence seizures and the complex partial and get a better idea of what that looks like. And it's an enjoyable video to watch, and it's about, I think I said 7 minutes at the beginning, but I actually think it's more like 12 minutes long. And it goes through some seizure first aid as well. So I really encourage everybody to watch that. And I'll open it up for any questions. If anybody has questions, you can either use a chat bar and type in your question, or we will open it up. We will open it up so you can actually just voice your question if you have it too, or you can raise your hand using the tab below. So does anybody have a question? Not right now, I guess, and that's fine. If you think that you think the question later on, like, to hold us. Our number is 303-377-9774, and that's the phone number for the Epilepsy Foundation of Colorado. And our website is a really good resource for people with epilepsy, just to get involved with the Epilepsy Foundation, see what's happening, maybe get some more information about just general information about epilepsy. And we also have some brochures here that people sometimes enjoy looking at, or, it's very informative for them to actually have something to look at, so you can request that too. But our website is epilepsycolorado.org, and you can email us and ask us questions that way as well on the website. So I think that is about it, and I guess we'll just wrap up, and if you need anything else, just contact the Epilepsy Foundation of Colorado. Thank you very much, and have a good day.